Welcome back to Teacup Trail. We are finishing the second half of episode 5, season 6 of When Calls the Heart. I'm going to probably talk less in this video. There are two very long scenes that are important to talk about. YouTube is still giving me a hard time, especially with the longer scenes, so I'm gonna split up the longer scenes and to put comments along the way. Let's get started.
Mr. Bouchard may have been misguided, but I believe his heart was in the right place.
She hasn't been around long enough for that to matter.
Which I think could very well be the problem. Allie isn't making an effort because she doesn't think she'll be here long enough for it to matter.
You know how the Mounties work.
I also know that children need stability.
We're fine. Thank you.
So what I suggest is that we call Allie in and let her know what our expectations are of her in the classroom. All right.
Okay.
Now, Allie, do you understand why it was wrong to take money and food from the other children?
It's not like I forced them to play.
That's not the issue. You deliberately tricked the other children. Ellie, I raised you better than that. Tomorrow, you're going to return everything, and you're going to apologize.
I don't have it anymore. Mrs. Thornton took my bag.
Are we understood?
Yes, sir.
I happen to know that Robert and Opal already like you a lot.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You just have to give the other kids a chance. Can you do that for me?
I guess.
So in addition to my comments along the way in this long scene, this relationship between Nathan and Elizabeth is a parent and teacher relationship. They established this relationship right off the bat ever since Allie came into the picture. And they're somewhat co-parenting, but they're not together romantically, but it's somewhat like co-parent in a way. It's kind of weird to say it, but it is what it is. I mean, Elizabeth is helping Nathan in encouraging Allie to be confident and to encourage her to make new friends in Hope Valley at the school. So this relationship is definitely a parent-teacher relationship between Nathan and Elizabeth, and just guiding Allie through her experience in school and making new friends. And I don't see any romantic vibes in that scene, especially coming from Elizabeth, but I do recognize the look that Nathan had toward Elizabeth, and I do believe that that look is somewhat of those look of admiration, respect. Elizabeth is the teacher, and she seemed to know what to do. I mean, she's a mother. Not only she's a mother to an infant son, but she has had a lot of experiences and being a teacher and connecting with the children on a personal level.
I had my doubts about Constable Grant's parenting skills, but he has proven me wrong.
Well, can't be easy raising such a spirited little girl all on your own.
I'm sure it isn't.
Did you ever find out what happened to Allie's parents?
No. They're pretty private people.
Just, it's interesting how Elizabeth commented that they are private people. They are. They just have the quiet nature. I mean, they're still new to the town, but it just reminds me of Nathan's quiet personality. A bit of a spoiler, if you never watched this show, or if you stop watching before this season, I'm gonna spill a little bit of a spoiler alert, so if you want to skip the next 30 seconds of this video, feel free. One of the viewers mentioned to me on YouTube, I think her name is Anna, I hope I got your name right, she mentioned about Nathan and The Secret, and I told her that I tried to go through this season and 7 and 8 as like a first time perspective, but I think it's a good idea to keep in the back of your mind of Nathan's big secret and how he behaved and how he talked to Elizabeth, and maybe I think we will I think we would have like a quick moment where Nathan started to feel guilty about this secret that he's hiding from Elizabeth. So I think that's another good thing to keep in the back of your mind and see how that evolved throughout season 6, 7, and 8.
And who do I see in his red surge coming towards me?
Jack.
Always the hero.
Few things that I think is very interesting to pick up on is Rosemary mentioned the red church, and Elizabeth automatically, thought of Jack, which it was Jack before he died, but it's just every time a red church is mentioned, or if Elizabeth see a red church, it just automatically reminds her of Jack.
He sure was.
But I know you saved him in more ways than one.
I remember when he first came to town. He hated it here so much.
Gee, I wonder what changed his mind.
Oh. People find true love in Hope Valley.
It's true. You and Jack.
You and Lee.
And it's interesting in this girl chat, they were talking about love in Hope Valley and how they found their husband and their true love, Rosemary and Lee, and Elizabeth and Jack, and then they continue to mention Jesse, Clara, and Faith and Carson, and I think it's a foreshadow of a future potential love story for Elizabeth, whether it's with Nathan or Lucas. I think it was just an interesting and important foreshadow moment that I think most of us missed it the first time. I missed it. I didn't even remember this conversation clearly.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm sorry. I heard about what happened with your niece.
No more teaching kids card tricks, okay?
As you wish.
What's your story, Bouchard? Why are you such an expert at cheating?
I'm not. In fact, I've only cheated once in my life.
This is a great town. Good people, fine opportunities.
What's your point?
You don't seem like a good fit here.
That's kind of the story of my life. But I'm not going anywhere.
I understand where Nathan coming from. I mean, he got, ticked off and very upset that an older gentleman that Allie barely knows taught his niece on how to do a heart trick. I get that. And Lucas, being the gentleman and respectful man that he is, he apologized right off the bat. But I think the scene took it too far between Lucas and Nathan. They could have ended on a mutual, respectful agreement. But Nathan pushed it further to the edge and telling Lucas that Lucas doesn't belong in Hope Valley. And you have to remember the scene where Nathan went to jail, the first night that we seen him in Hope Valley after Jesse punched him in the face, and Bill took Jesse and Nathan to the jail, and Jesse mentioned about not liking Lucas, and Bill, was part of that conversation. So that automatically created that first impression in Nathan's mind, like, why these two men, especially Bill as a sheriff, like, why they don't like Lucas, what is going on with Lucas, why he is in town. And of course Nathan probably learned more about Lucas as he started to settle into Hope Valley, and probably heard stories and probably see how well the saloon is doing under the management of Lucas. So Nathan has all this thoughts and assumption about who Lucas really is and the purpose that Lucas is in town for, and I think it shows that Nathan is very protective, but I think he's a little bit too much protective regarding the business of Lucas and why Lucas is in Hope Valley. I think Nathan needs to cut him some slack. Like, Nathan, just let it go. Let it go. Also, at the end, Lucas said, "I'm not going anywhere." Keep that in mind as we go forward. I think that's another important dialogue to keep in mind with the journey of Lucas in Hope Valley. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk bad about Nathan, but I don't know, it's just like, just cut some slack on Lucas. Like, Lucas apologized. Like, I mean, what can he do, I don't know, if you ever had someone tell you that you do not belong in this neighborhood, or, in the new town, and you just moved in and settled in, like, how would you feel, right? I mean, like, it's offensive, in my opinion. Although Nathan believed that Lucas does not belong in Hope Valley, I feel like it's like counter-attack Nathan himself, because he had this secret with him, and he attacking Lucas, but Nathan also has a purpose and a secret too that we will find out. So, Nathan needs to cut some slack on Lucas. Like, come on, you just met the guy. You give him a break. That's it. That's the end of episode 5 of season 6 regarding the love triangle. I will see you next time on Sunday. And also, a random question: does anyone love Dunkin' Donut or Starbucks or Tim Hortons? I love Tim Hortons, and I miss it so bad. In Canada, unfortunately, I think they still closed the borders. So I think the nearest Tim Hortons for me is probably near Niagara Falls on the American side. So, Canada, I need Tim Hortons back. Well, see you next time, hearties. Have a good week and a good weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.